Got it.
Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody else wanting to know.
You guys ready?
Yep.
We'll call the Carlisle Village Council meeting to order. Would everyone please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Bignall?
Here.
Mr. Jewett?
Present.
Mr. Licklider?
Here.
Mr. McIntosh?
Here.
Mr. McEldowney?
Here.
Ms. Tankersley? Here. Mayor Winkler?
Here. Before you are the minutes of our regular meeting of October the 10th. Before we move forward with those minutes, do we have a motion to suspend the reading of the minutes by the clerk?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Licklider?
Yes.
Mr. Bignall?
Yes.
Ms. Tankersley? Yes. Mr. McEldowney?
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Mayor Winkler?
Yes. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented of the October 10th meeting? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Mr. McEldowney?
Yes.
Mr. Licklider?
Yes.
Mr. Bignall?
Yes.
Mayor Winkler?
Yes. Minutes of October 10th have been adopted. Next, we have our public forum. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address council this evening? If so, please step to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, we'll close public forum. We'll move on to council reports. Mr. Bicknell, would you like to start this evening?
Just want to remind the community, the Beggars Nights, 31st from 6 to 8. Also, I saw where Brad posted it on Facebook, but also just visit the website for the community just to read up on everything that's on the election this year. It's not a presidential election, but there's still some very important things as far as the charter review goes. And then, of course, the council election to get on there, find out information, what you need to make a good decision and come out and vote. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jewett?
I have nothing this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Licklider?
The only thing else is just to talk about what Will was saying is our right and our opportunity to vote. Extremely important. So please get out and cast your vote. I'll be there, so watching you. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. McIntosh?
Yeah, a few things. Just a quick congratulations to the high school marching band. They qualified for the state final competition. So just congrats and wish them luck on their performance. The Lions Club is holding a fundraiser on November 14th at 6:30. It's their silent auction. So just ahead of the holidays. It might be their last fundraiser for the year. So everyone, please get out and support them so they can support the community as they always have. On November 2nd at 7 p.m. at the Deerdolf Senior Center in Franklin, there is a Meet the Candidate night with some discussion and a forum for the Franklin Township trustees and for the judge race that's going on on the election for November 7th. So if you're interested, you can go out there and ask questions or hear what they have to say. If not, I'm sure it'll be posted somewhere to where you can watch it. Residents of Carlisle, we do get to vote on those races, so it's just as important to us as it is to everyone in Franklin Township and Franklin. If you can't make it for all the other election items, there is a voter's guide online. The Middletown Journal and the Dayton Daily News. So if you want some clarification on what's on your ballot, you can go on and look and read up on it. And the last thing is we have been told that new business in town, Milton's Donuts, will be open on the 28th for an opening. I believe that's Saturday. Saturday. Open at 6 a.m. I think till 12 or 12:30 in the afternoon. I know they're not completely ramped up yet, but they will be serving donuts in Carlisle for the first time in a while. So we're excited and we welcome them to town. That's all.
All right, thank you. Mr. McEldowney?
Only other items that I would, well, everything I had has already been said. Just a reminder, like Mr. Bicknell said, Baker's Night next week, drive safely. If you're traveling, there's going to be lots of little ones out and out in the neighborhoods. And then also the election on November 7th. It's one of our greatest rights we have. So be sure to get out and make your voice heard. And that's all.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tankersley?
I have nothing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll close council report, move on to mayor's report. I just have one item this evening. Just want to remind everyone that on November the 11th, on Veterans Day, we will be holding a ceremony at the high school at 2:30 in the afternoon. And the Military Order of the Purple Heart will be there, and they will be declaring the village of Carlisle as a Purple Heart community. So I'd like to invite everyone out that would enjoy that to come be with us, and we'll have some drinks and some desserts for everyone to enjoy afterwards. If anyone knows of anyone that is a Purple Heart recipient of the military, it's my understanding that they will have a coin there. It's a Purple Heart coin for those people that are in attendance. So I'd like to encourage everyone to come out. Be from 2:30 to 4:30 on November 11th at the Carlisle High School Commons. That's all I have this evening, so we'll close the mayor's report, move on to manager's report.
Thank you. The only thing I have tonight is just a reminder, there is 1 week to go if you're interested in buying a raffle ticket for the Carlisle Fire Department's Auxiliary Fund Raiser. The raffle tickets go to a selection of different gun hardware. They'll be drawing every Saturday in November. So they are selling raffle tickets up to the 31st. If you're interested, contact a local Carlisle Fire Department member, and they'd be more than happy to get you in touch with the raffle tickets, or call Town Hall and we can make sure that you get to the right people. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We have no committee reports, old or new business.
Finance Committee.
Oh, that's right, we had a finance committee meeting this evening. Mr. Licklider slipped right by me.
Yeah, okay, for the Finance Committee, what we met this evening at 5:30, basically to talk about the 2018 budget. Went over the pay plan. Our recommendation on the pay plan is to take a look at it and tighten it up a little bit. So we asked Julie to do that over the coming year and produce another pay plan for us when the 2019 budget cycle comes along. We covered the 2018 budget just to kind of take another look at it. This tonight will be the second reading of our proposed budget. And then we also, tonight we will have, and we looked also at the 2017 final supplemental appropriations as well. So that will be on for tonight's reading. So that's all we covered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll close the committee report. We'll move on to first readings of ordinance and resolutions. Under letter A, ordinance 1917 supplemental appropriation number 1 on for a first reading.
An ordinance to make reappropriation supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the municipality of Carlisle during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017, amendment number 1. Before you tonight is the first reading of our annual cleanup supplemental appropriation for the fiscal 2017 year. There are 2 funds that we are asking for an increase to the originally granted appropriation, one being Fund 210, which is the Eagle Ridge TIF Fund. The revenue that we received from the Eagle Ridge TIF exceeded our expectations, which is a wonderful thing. And we do share that money with the school system, so our expense to the school went up more than what was originally appropriated. So we do need additional appropriation for the expense side, but it is more than covered by our additional revenue on the revenue side. And then the second fund that we're looking for additional appropriation is the Police Services Fund. That is Fund 245.
We have had some turnover in the police department in the last year. That did involve the hiring process, which is a little expensive to go through. So we do need an expense increase of $7,000 to that fund. And both of these were taken into consideration in our projections for end of the year 2017, as well as our starting point for 2018 budget.
Any further discussion? That will be on for a second reading on November the 14th. Under second and third readings of ordinance and resolutions, under letter A, ordinance 1717, 2018 budget appropriation on for a second reading.
An ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the municipality of Carlisle during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018.
Any discussion? That will be on for a third and final reading on November 14th. Ordinance 1817, 2018 employee pay plan on for a second reading.
An ordinance to adopt the 2018 employee pay schedule.
Any discussion? That will be on for a third and final reading on the 14th of November. And ordinance 1417, $250,000 bond anticipation note on for the 15th renewal, third and final reading.
An ordinance providing for the issuance of $250,000 various purpose bond anticipation notes, 15th renewal 2017 by the municipality of Carlisle, Ohio, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds.
Any discussion? We have a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Mr. Licklider,
Second.
Mr. Bicknell, roll call.
Mr. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. Bicknell?
Yes.
Mr. Licklider?
Yes.
Mr. McElDowney?
Yes.
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Ms. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mayor Winkler?
Yes. Ordinance 1417 has been adopted. That's all we have on our agenda this evening. We do have a work session, which the public is invited to attend. We'll be discussing storage facilities, underspeed vehicles, and council meeting schedules. Do we have a motion to adjourn into the work session?
So moved. So moved.
Mr. Bicknell?
Second.
Mr. Licklider? Roll call?
Mr. Licklider?
Yes.
Ms. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. Bicknell?
Yes.
Mr. McElDowney?
Yes.
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Mayor Winkler?
Yes. We are adjourned.